Shalom, Yasharallah. First and foremost, I want to say all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Racha HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of the house of David. Salutations to you, brothers throughout the four corners of the earth, teaching the truth and righteousness and sincerity to you Israelite foreigners. Come back home to the truth. To those that passed on, serving the Lord, the dead, and Yahweh Shai shall arise first. To you sisters who believe, keep encouraging and supporting your brothers that's out here teaching the truth. And I'm sorry. Keep encouraging and supporting. Always commemorate the sister who watched Yahweh Shai feet when you read the scriptures. All right. I want to talk to y'all about racing. Oh man, I might have to put my shades on. I want to talk to y'all about racism. I don't know if it's because of my upbringing. I came up when America was more overtly racist. There was more, it wasn't motherfuckers getting called boy and shit or the N-word. I came up in the northeast where, I don't know, that's an ass whooping. But, my generation was the one where they hid the racism, but they did the racism. So you had, police, banks, college professors. The system of racism that I came up in was very covert. I had decent grades. I had okay grades, but I had, because I did some crazy shit when I was a little kid, I was always in the office of the study team, the child study team. And the child study team always gave me tests, and I always ranked 4 grades above me. So when I was in 6th grade, I had math, reading, and writing skills at a 10th grade level. At 8th grade, I had graduate level reading, English, and math skills. But they still told me, when I said that I wanted to go to Kane College, it was Kane College at the time. They said, oh, that's not realistic to just apply to one college. They gave me all types of fucking community colleges to apply to. That's racism. No, well, let me not say that's not necessarily racism, but that's the advice that many black and brown students are given. And I told her I practically have a way into Kane because I was part of a program to become a teacher. But she didn't listen. She wanted me to apply to all these other colleges, and I'm like, I don't have the fucking money to apply for every single fucking application. I think they waived the Kane University application. I had to pay $30 for the fucking Essex County, Union County. I stuck with Kane University, and that's where I got accepted at. Well, it was Kane College at the time. But, the way cops look at you when you walk around your neighborhood. There was a time that I was in church, and I had invited a friend to church. And it was one of them cool churches that allowed you to wear your starters, your fucking... I think you even could wear a baseball cap inside the church and all that. And the friend took forever. They never showed up, actually, now that I think about it. But the cop, the same fucking cop car rolled around 3-4 times and kept fucking with me. And I told him I was in that church. I was just, of course I wasn't dressed for church. I wasn't dressed for church the way generally, you would dress for church. And I was standing on the corner. Around the corner, there was niggas selling drugs. I won't say where. Not that block is probably active now, but whether it is or isn't, I'm not going to say what block that was on. But the cop just kept fucking with me. And at one point he said, let me search you. Search me. No drugs. I was a kid. Probably 14, 15 years old. Granted, there's 14, 15-year-olds selling drugs. I get it. You know, but the thing is, when you talk to Edomites, Caucasians, white people about racism, because they don't go through it, they don't see it, they feel it, they know, hey, this is Jamal, he's my black friend, right? In their mind, the fact that they even have a black friend means that they don't have racism. But at the end of the day, listen, racism is a very better you than me type deal. Because generally, when opportunity is provided, white people, and specifically wealthy white people, rich corporations, in order to comply with affirmative action, what they do is they just give you an opportunity. They don't have to furnish anything. They can say, hey, I want to make you a manager at my plant. Okay, you're a manager at that plant, but that doesn't account for all the disrespect that you're going to take. That doesn't account for all the employees that are under you that get in good with the management over you, that you're going to have to check. Like, there's no functional equality when you get an opportunity. So what happens is you get an opportunity. Yeah, I could say I was a manager at McDonald's, but they just gave you that opportunity so you can fail, because you got people over you that are not going to let the business fail. They're going to make sure you fail, or maybe not make sure, but they're going to be indifferent to you failing. Oh, that's a DEI hire. You know, he's a product of DEI, so he's not that good. And really, DEI and the things that they put in to stop racism in the workplace really benefit Asians, Jewish people, gay people, transgender people more than they benefit African American or Hispanic people. They don't benefit black people, man. That's why a lot of y'all sitting here cheering on Obama. Oh, Obama's audacity. I remember, but way before he was even considered for president, I think I was working at Cablevision, and I used to run into this friend of mine from college named Juma. He's African. I don't know where he's from in Africa, but he's a cool guy regardless. He used to look up to Obama, and he was reading this book called The Audacity of Hope. I mean, they make it sound good, and even the fact, look at every single opportunity that white people system provides for black people. I'm gonna say system, not white people, but their system, right? Look at the first African American president who had a white mother, has a white mother, and is African, not even an actual African American person that ancestors came over here and picked cotton. And I'm not saying that to be funny. I'm saying that because really, you're not one. Like, Obama was never one of us. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Obama was never one of us. These people are, they're not going to allow a true man of the people or woman of the people to take office. Let's be honest. Kamala Harris served their fucking agenda. They're still to this day saying that Kamala Harris would have been better. We only have what's actually going on in Trump's presidency to go off of. So they're saying Kamala Harris would have been better. Oh, y'all could have just voted for the black women, but y'all hate black women. Shut up. Y'all are stupid for that. Kamala Harris is evil, just like Trump is evil. Nobody give a fuck about neither one of them. You know, she was racist too. She was another Rachel Dolezal, the Indian version. You know, you saw the snippiness in her attitude. You think she would have took it easy on black men? I would argue Trump is taking it easier on black men right now than she would have. You know, but anyway, Yeah, man, you talk to the average white people, like I always watch these videos with Charlie Kirk. And then there's this also this white guy that does real quick skits. He's always eating, and he says, if why do we persecute white people for slavery if all races had slaves? He'll say things like that. What they don't know, what they don't say is how these other races treated their slaves. How did they attain their slaves? Right? That's the part that guy doesn't ask. Because also Charlie Kirk was debating a black kid about racism, and the caption said Charlie Kirk destroys racism in 2 seconds. Right? So the black kid, or I think it could have been a white kid that was liberal, asked the question. No, it was a black person, so-called black person. And he was like, what can I do that you can't do? And the black kid was like, nothing. So then there's no racism. That's a good question to frame a point, but the truth of the matter is, every white person, every black person can do everything that a so-called white person can do. They can. That doesn't mean that they are going to be allowed. So in other words, you have your Jay-Z's, you have your black and brown success stories. You have to have them, because if you don't have any, that's good. That's where you can truly make a point that cannot be rebutted about racism. But because you have black and brown people that make it, black and brown people can so-called make it in this society. It's just what it takes, what obstacles we have. Think about that. The obstacles that actually prevent us from getting where we want to go. Now, white people have their challenges. It's not that they are given free range in society. They just don't have our challenges. They don't have the police fucking vigilant trying to stop you from fucking walking in a white neighborhood. They don't have, they're not looked at as suspicious. You know, when a person of color does a crime, media uses very key, slick words to describe it, or to put out there that the person was black or Hispanic. It's very slick the way they've done it, man. But this system, the way they've created it, it's so they can always have plausible deniability for racism. That's the reason why you cannot prove racism. Not today, you know? They'll tell you there's no redlining. Well, guess what? I'm in Westfield. There are numerous so-called black families, but black people do not move to Westfield. Black people in general don't move to Scotch Plains. Scotch Plains has its black neighborhood, though. Westfield has somewhat of a black block called Kakiola. You know? But the majority of us are living in poverty in the inner city. And it's not because we lazy. That's the thing. They throw the word lazy out there. Pick yourselves up by the bootstraps. It's not easy. When you have nothing but opportunity stripped from you. They're given to you, but they're stripped over time because of different things that happen in somebody's life. You know, we cause opportunities to get stripped from us. You know, that woman that you didn't put a hand on, she hit you, and maybe you hit back. Now that the domestic violence is going to be on your jacket forever. So now you're not going to get opportunities because your own black woman, black and Hispanic woman, sold you out to Esau for nothing. When they're the aggressors. But anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom.